Hey guys, Red Baron here with Red Baron Modeling, coming at you with another video. In this video, I'll be going over the trip to Oshkosh. Me and my dad went on a trip to Oshkosh this summer for EAA Aiventure, a great event hosted by the EAA. If you're in aviation or have any interest in aviation, highly recommend going to it. This video, I'm not really going to talk much, it's just going to be really a collection of pictures I took and some video overlaid with a little bit of music. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and as always, see you next time.
you take us back to Oshkosh? So it's a pretty amazing piece of equipment.
That's very advanced when you realize this is the
So the turret itself basically works by hydraulic pressure. So you have two sets of vanes like this, and basically all it is high pressure comes in one side to push the vane to either left or up or down, and then pressure will come back on the other side to push it back. So what we had to do with this turret is we basically had to take our vanes that looked like this, and we had to go through and actually do a process called spray metallizing, which actually added metal back to the original casted pieces, and then we went through, remachined them, resurfaced them. The actual vanes themselves, we had to go through and recreate the vane seals. A company out of New Hudson, Michigan called Exotic Seals actually did that for us, including making all the other seals, the main seals between the casings and the actual shaft seals. But the turret's about 2,000 PSI system once it maxes out. It is all self-contained in this actual turret controller. So the controller itself just runs off the 24-volt system in the aircraft. It's a half horsepower motor that drives a secondary pump, which then ultimately pumps fuel up into the two main pumps, which is also driven by the same motor. Now, for some reason, if you lose hydraulic pressure, or if there's a electrical shortage in the airplane, there is normally two valves here, which we just don't have installed because of the way we have this rigged up, that would basically shut off the actual pressure to the system. And at that point in time, you'd come back here. So this whole unit you see here would be facing in here back, and the tail gunner would be sitting back here, and the back side of that armor plate would basically be right here at the back of this gun sight. So what he would do is there'd be two little doors on that. He would open up, you'd come in here, you'd pull this lever, this piece would pop up like that. There's a second handle that we did not get finished yet for Oshkosh, but then what basically what it do is you spin this handle and it unlocks and comes out, and now that is your now controller to man the turret. And then this trigger is your gun trigger, which then basically goes ahead and pushes these two plungers to a manual trigger in the gun. And then basically storage, you turn that back, pull the pin out, down, turn, lock. So there's only about a handful of these that actually still operate in the B-25. The one thing about our turret that we're very proud of is, so our aircraft never saw combat. It was always here in the States as a bomber trainer. But it served as a fire bomber up in Alaska, and that's where it crashed June 27th of '69. But when it flew as a fire bomber, it flew with 8Z on the tail, and we wanted to leave the 8Z on the tail to honor its heritage as a fire bomber, but bring it back to a wartime Mitchell. So that's when we learned about the 340th Bomb Group 488th Squadron. That squadron flew the following letter 8, followed by A through Z. So there was actually 3 8Z airplanes. The very first 8Z was an early B-25 that got buried when Mount Vesuvius erupted over there. The second one was lost over the Brenner Pass, and the third was scrapped after the war. So we were going to build our aircraft to resemble the 8Z that was shot down. So she was part of a 3-ship formation that was dropping white phosphorus on the German implementations down in the Brenner Pass so that the bombers could come back through and bomb the Campo North Railroad Bridge. Well, 8Z took a direct hit of flak, and the B-25 can maintain on one engine, but it can't climb, so they couldn't get out of the pass. So basically the pilots bailed out of the aircraft, the crew did. The plane continued on to crash into a mountainside. The crew was sadly captured, and because 3 of them had over 41 missions, they were moving them from one prisoner camp to the next. The Germans stopped, said, you guys could get out and stretch. As soon as they did, they executed them. Oh, so when the plane did crash in the mountain, there was a gentleman by the name of Mr. Pyle and his father who actually saw this happen in '45. The wreckage, a lot of it tumbled down the mountainside, and Mr. Pyle and his dad went there and recovered large chunks of the airplane. brought it back to their farm and then just would use parts of it when they need to be. That tail turret controller you see there is the original tail turret controller out of the ANC that was lost in the load. So it's very awesome to have parts like that we can actually go ahead and restore and put into the recreation of that airplane to honor this crew. So with the original crash reports, we know the serial numbers of every single machine gun that was on that airplane. All of our replica guns that are being made for us actually have the serial numbers that match what was on 8C on them, and they'll be in the correct positions for the crew. Is there any questions I can answer for you guys?
So all these cats.
June of 1945. August 19th of 45, he is co-pilot Victor Gentleman, escorted very proudly out in front and out in the middle, the enemy's former lethal bombers, the Betty bomber. Over your right shoulder, led by Colonel Tibbetts, was the other B-29, the Great Artiste, and followed by the third one in formation, Necessary Evil. They would peel off, and what the Enola Gay would do on that day, she had to do alone. Black tail P-51s are being flown by Warren Peach. The Dakota Territory.
Viper UC today is maintained by our expert team of maintenance professionals. Crew Chief, Staff Sergeant Bobby Harper, Staff Sergeant Kyle Matter, Senior Airman Adam Carr, our Engine Specialist, Staff Sergeant Ryan Davis, our E&E Specialist, Staff Sergeant Trevor Griswold, the team's Avionics Specialist is Staff Sergeant Jared Henry. You can tag all your social media posts and photos with @ViperDemoTeam.
for watching. I hope to see you next time.